You are listening to the Creative Talks podcast, presented by the Architectural Authority magazine.
You don't. You don't do it all. That's just the honest truth. When you are focusing in one thing, you are taking time from the other thing because just a day has 24 hours and there is nothing perfect. We try to balance. That's something that I always really do try. On my free time, when I finish work, I try not to finish too early. I give the time to my children. And of course, because they are more important now.
This episode is sponsored by our partners at Citco USA, with the largest selection of marble in all South Florida. Visit Citco's showroom at Doral and enjoy their extraordinary design collections, including iconic works by renowned artists such as Zaha Hadid, Anish Kapoor, Ferruccio Laviani, Ora Ito, and many more. The Creative Talks podcast is here to help you succeed in the world of architecture and interior design. It shares authentic, personal stories about the highs and lows of running the business. Tune in for real-life experiences and gain actionable steps to achieve your own goals. Your host, Cindy, is ready. Thank you for joining us, and let's get started.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Creative Talks. This podcast is possible thanks to the Architectural Authority. Today we've got a really exciting guest, Maydet Aksoy. Maydet's story is super inspiring. She's originally from Cuba and has a degree in global economics from the University of Havana. Then she took her talents to Rutgers University to study economics and business. After that, she moved to Miami to co-manage a construction company. But that's not all. Seeing a need for high-end custom millwork at great prices, she started her own business, the CASSA. And if that's not impressive enough, she's also a mom of 2 young kids, aged 5 and 6. And Maydet's journey, it's all about dedication, innovation, and balancing work and family. We're thrilled to have her here to share her experiences and insights. Let's get into this creative talk together. Hola, Maydet. How are you?
Good.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for the invitation and for the warm welcome and description. I appreciate it.
Well, we're here to know you better because there's a lot of people out there that know your business, that see your social media side, but we don't know who is behind it. A lot of people maybe don't know that it's Maydet, the force of the CASSA. So we want you to, first of all, take us into your path, your journey. How did you start into the construction company? How did you fall into this industry and what you're doing right now?
Well, my career, it was always business related, for sure. So pretty much what I did, it didn't have any industry specific. So we had the opportunity back then, 10 years ago, to co-invest in a construction company that my husband formed a partnership with.
In Miami?
In Miami. And then I was the one operating all the operations for the construction company on that year, 10 years ago.
One job.
Very difficult. Very difficult job. I had to learn everything from scratch. But again, it's like you transfer the skills and the knowledge that you learn from previous past experiences plus my career to any type of business. You can use those skills. But in this case, it was the construction industry, which it was my first experience in construction. So it was definitely very difficult for me. And at that time, I was also, pregnant with my kids.
But a great learning experience for what you're doing right now.
Correct.
Definitely. Good basis.
So it took me a while to get the hang of it, of the construction industry, which is very challenging itself. But I was managing the construction industry from the back office, okay? So I think it's more difficult when you have to be on the project side itself with the project, dealing with the clients and such. After a couple of years having that business, I decided that it was really not something that I was passionate about, but I learned about millwork and the finishes and the decor, and this is what I really wanted to focus my career on. So I opened the CASSA.
But originally the kitchens were coming from
Turkey.
What is the relationship there?
My husband is Turkish.
And you lived in Turkey?
I lived in Turkey, and we had a lot of connections there.
Because I remember when I met you, I remember learning that your kitchens used to be at the top, how do you say, castles or
Yes, we had a lot of projects all around Europe, Dubai, even Russia, Turkey, Istanbul, all around Turkey. And then there was a showroom in one of very important part of Istanbul that is called the Mako, where there is hundreds of their showroom. There was a showroom there. And then we transferred that to here. So that's how the CASSA kind of like was started. And now we have grown to offer Italian millwork custom products, Italian furniture, Italian wall covering solutions, and interior doors.
But you see a very big difference between the design style of Europe, Istanbul, and all these countries, Dubai, from what happening here in Miami. So you had to adapt, adjust.
We had to adapt, and we have to educate a lot because, of course, in Turkey and in Italy, I mean, Italy is more used to work on the U.S. standards and the U.S. trends and colors and different same materials that are used here because Italy is most recognized and known by building kitchens and millwork, custom millwork for the U.S. market. And Turkey just started doing this around 20 years ago. So it took a lot of education and learning path through to the designing team in Turkey to understand the U.S. trends. But even it was a learning curve for me as well. So it was very interesting.
And it's amazing because there are clients here. For example, there's a market for Russia that you can serve because you have the knowledge and experience of what they like. And their style is a little bit more decorated.
It's more traditional.
More traditional with a lot more details, correct?
A lot more detail and a lot more, I would say, life. I love the traditional look. And sometimes we go transitional, which is between modern and traditional. But the CASSA was born with the capability to do very, very intricate custom door designs for the kitchens. And hence why I have a lot of those kitchens in the current showroom that I have. But unfortunately, it's something that the Miami population, it's not really...
It's not really the trend.
There's not the
style,
trend here.
But it was so rich to walk into your showroom and see this Russian type kitchen, and then you had a farmhouse kitchen in the back,
Correct.
which was amazing. Then you had like an Art Deco kitchen with gold and leather, and then you have another style of
the smart kitchen. We had the smart kitchen.
Yes, that everything was touched.
Yes,
and then you had another farm. So for me, as a designer point of view, it was amazing to walk into your showroom and dive into so many different kitchens.
Correct.
So I hope you don't change that with the renovation.
Well, new things are coming, a lot of beautiful things and new trends because the trends have changed from 10 years ago to now. So we have to keep up with the new colors, with the new trends, with the movement,
everybody
with
wants.
Of course, new hardware, new finishes, new design concepts. Like we have to change with the market.
Right.
Otherwise, we stay stagnant. So yes, we are changing the whole showroom, which is a very exciting project, 1 year in the making. So, and it's right now happening. And we are going to do a big opening next year around February, March.
So the showroom right now, it's downstairs kitchens. And now the new thing is going to be furniture in the second floor.
So still is going to be, the whole showroom is going to be new. The first floor, everything is coming out.
Kitchen and closets.
Kitchen closets, vanities, wall panels, and interior doors.
Okay. That's going to be the new, the renovation.
That's going to be new. And then in the second floor is going to come the new line of furniture.
And I know that you are, well, I'm anticipating to the surprise, but I know that you're going to create like a hub for us to go and work with our clients and have the floor plans there and creating an atmosphere where we can feel comfortable to play with all your design solutions.
Correct. So I am creating a space in the showroom that I call it the Inspiration Oasis. And that's only something that I built for designers to go there. They will have a lot of textures, colors, materials to play around and build their concept for the projects in the showroom with all of our wallpaper solutions, wood finishes, lacquer finishes, acrylics, glasses, metals. So everything is going to be at your disposition in our showroom, in our inspirational area for you to sit down with your clients or with your team, create the concept with our products, and then we can assist you to put it together with our millwork designers.
You have an amazing team. I don't know if you want to mention some of them, because I've met them personally, and they're definitely great. Besides super professional, they're great human beings and nice to work with. So yes, thank you so much. I do have an amazing team, and I have a very supportive senior designer. His name is Heriberto. Most of you already know him because he's kind of like the face of the CASSA. Like an
influencer. He's the influencer of the CASSA. I'm more in the back office doing numbers. And he loves the project. He loves the clients, and he loves everything that we do. So you will see him around as well, explaining a little bit the process of the new showroom, taking some videos of the upcoming events as well. He has been a great support for me, for my business, but as well as my friend, because he's my longtime friend, 15 years now. So very grateful to him, and he has amazing clients, and his design aesthetic skills are...
So you're serving projects, not only Miami, you do the islands a lot. I know Heriberto travels to...
Yes, he travels a lot.
Yes.
You're welcome.
So how does that happen? How did they find the CASSA? What is the connection there? Tell us what's happening in the island. You do houses for TV hosts and famous people.
Yes. Well, it's a little bit interesting how I got myself into the island, and the first island was Turks and Caicos.
And we want to know all that because you are an inspiration for a lot of women who are business owners.
Yeah.
And that all you have to do is just follow your God, your dream, and work for it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. The first time that I landed a project in Turks and Caicos, I went up to Turks and Caicos for vacation. It was my birthday week. And my husband said to me, pack your things, we are going, and without no previous notice. And we went into Turks and Caicos, and I was in the hotel, but I was driving around the city, the little island.
Area.
I realized that there was a lot of development. And thank God that I take my business cards everywhere, by the way, with me. And I dropped my husband in the hotel. I say, I will come back. I'm going to drive around a little bit more. Yes. And I dropped a few of my cars. And I said, I presented the business. This is what we do. We are located in Miami. If you are interested to know a little bit more about the project, directly to the project, knocking on doors.
Yeah, I used to do that.
You have to do it. It was the beginning of the business back then. So you got to hustle, I would say.
Exactly.
And that week that it was supposed to be my vacation week, it turned out that I had 4 meetings. They called me back and say, if you're still in the island, come, let's talk. We have a few projects. So I left the island with 2 very big projects that week.
My dad, we had to tell this story, and this wasn't planned. This is a great story.
That's how kind of like we started.
And then after those 4 projects, of course, you were the queen of the island.
Correct. Well, not the queen. I was in the island.
So in this, you do hospitality projects or commercial or residential? What are you doing?
We specialize in high-end residentials. We have the capability to do commercial multi-units projects. I would say those are easier than doing high-end residential that has a lot of details, very custom. You have to deal with the direct client and select all the colors and do every space has its own mood and his own colors, and you have to do that. Usually when multi-units or projects, it's like every unit is repeated. Then you get units of one type, the other type. So it's easier, I would say.
And are you willing to do that?
that's in our plans for the future. I mean, we still have a couple of smaller multi-units projects, which I take. But big multi-units, like over 300, 400 units, we try to step away from for now. Because we still want to focus on more quality, less quantity.
And the high-end residential and the relationships.
Correct.
How many meetings does it have to happen before the sign-off of a new kitchen?
Oof. That will depend. And it will depend depending on the type of client that you get. A lot of clients come and they know exactly what they want.
Or they have the designer that helps.
Or they have a designer. But most of the clients that we get, they don't have designers. They come with blank canvas, a lot of pictures from Pinterest, a lot of ideas. They have different styles. And then we need to listen. We need to listen and filter all of those ideas and put them in perspective. Because a lot of their ideas might not be doable, might take too long, might not be on their budget,
mixed
or might
styles.
be everywhere. I mean, it depends. You get people that are like modern. I have had maximalist clients, which are very fun to work with, but at the same time, it will take very long because they don't know what they want, and then you have to mix a lot of colors and textures and patterns together for them and make it work. So I would say those are the most difficult clients, the most difficult designs, but not the most difficult clients. It's very fun to work with those type of clients.
Maximalist.
Yes.
That's fun. So how does a maximalist kitchen turn out?
Very beautiful.
Describe it.
Very well. I have a client right now. She's so nice. And her kitchen is green olive. And it's beautiful traditional custom doors just for her. We had to customize the doors.
Shaker or flat?
It's a shaker, but it's not a shaker. It was just a design for her.
No,
but it's a traditional
like
style. Custom. It was a custom. Then there was a mix of wood veneers, and the wood veneer we had to customize because she wanted a rough wood veneer without any stain, without any
just natural.
Natural.
And
so we had to.
What wood did you pick for that?
White oak.
White oak.
It was a very beautiful white oak that we had to pick for that.
With the olive green, beautiful.
With an olive green, and then the other side of the kitchen, it was navy blue. So it was a little bit, and then the wall panel right in front of her kitchen, it was like a bluish purple, and then there was yellow in part of the living room. So it was
wow, what a fun project!
It was very.
You are
fun.
Describing it, and I see those vignettes in the Salone del Mobile that none of us are doing here in the U.S., but yes, that are beautiful to see. Because sometimes we're not risky enough. We think that we need a timeless design and stay with gray, white oak, or a neutral element. Correct. And those are very pretty projects.
It took a lot of months to finalize the last design for her because the vision was, her idea was there, but it took us a lot of time to make her settle those ideas and then to put them together.
You need to show us that
I will
kitchen.
have to show you.
You have to show us.
And also once it's completed, I will take a video and share with you for the magazine.
And was she like a graphic designer, or how come that she liked so many colors?
I think they love natural things and they like the life. They like the house to have a life on its own. So each area, they wanted to have a separate concept. So it was how to tie it together. That was the tricky part for us. And then she involved an interior designer, which was the best decision to do. And then after that, interior designer worked with us to make all these ideas happen. So it took a little longer, but the project looks beautiful now and is out in production.
Beautiful.
So I'm very happy. Mm-hmm.
Last week, we had a guest here at the podcast. Her name is Sandra from Iolo Design, and she was advising everyone to submit projects to the contests. I think you should submit this one to those contests out there because it's a kitchen or an environment that can win prizes because it's so different by being.
I'm doing another project now with this designer. The name of her company is Mock-Up Interiors, and she's a very versatile designer, very unique. And now we have a client in common that is up in Vero Beach. And the doors, we are trying to customize the full door just for him because he wants metal encrypted inside the wood.
But
just to make some
like lines?
Yes, like lines or like some sort of shape. So we are trying to figure out how to do it because he wants a metal inside the wood, but flash. Some sort of. So once that's done, I will share with you. It's an experiment for now.
I can tell that you are the type of millwork specialist that will never say no.
I don't. I really like to try, and until the factory says, okay, this is not possible because,
or it's not recommended,
because you have to give me an explanation so that I can tell the client. And not only an explanation, you need to give me options. So if this is not available, what are the options for the client so I can discuss with him? So no, we are full custom, 100% custom. So come with the crazy ideas. I love that. And then I will filter that and I will talk to my team. And sometimes my team said, what are you trying to do
Why
now?
did you say yes?
Why are we getting complicated? But this is exactly the projects that I love. And the designer for this project, she's the most joyous person that I love to work with her. And she comes with the craziest idea. And she's like, I know you can handle it. And then she leaves. She's like, it's in your hands.
That's great. So you are part of the design process. You are not in the back office like you were saying. You are out there and in getting these dreams becoming a reality for a lot of designers and users.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm a risk taker, but
and
yes.
You even told me, Cindy, I might even end up studying architecture because I'm loving it.
Yes, well, that's if the business give me some time because it's a tough career. But I have architects in my family, so I don't think I'm gonna need to.
Yeah, your sister.
Yes.
Yes, she's a talented architect working currently at
Kobe Carp.
Yes. Yeah, we met her recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So yeah, you have an architect in the family.
Yes. So I think I'm going to be okay.
Yeah, definitely. So how does Maydet balance his life? You were just saying if the career allows me and gives me time, but I know you have 2 kids. That is a lot of work as well. How do you balance your life? How do you manage to all do it all?
You don't do it all. That's just the honest truth. When you are focusing in one thing, you are taking time from the other thing because just a day has 24 hours and there is nothing perfect. We try to balance. That's something that I always really do try. On my free time, when I finish work, I try not to finish too early. I give the time to my children. And of course, because they are more important now, they're still small, 6 and 7. I don't focus myself in other things or, school or things like that.
Or the gym, you do exercise?
The gym, I go, yes, but I go very early.
It's because for peace of mind, early. We have to.
For the peace of mind, I go very, very early when they are sleeping. That would be the only time that I have to work out.
What time is that?
5. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of guests telling me that 5 a.m. is the time.
Yeah.
So I gotta start
is the time.
Waking up earlier myself.
Because then I have to wake up the kids at 6, get them ready for school, drop them in school, come to work, then go back home and
start your day going to wherever the client takes you. Vero Beach, you just mentioned. Turks and Caicos, everywhere. Mm-hmm. You're everywhere.
Yeah.
So then you get home, you cook?
I don't.
No cooking.
Sometimes I cook. I have the pleasure to live with my mom and my mother-in-law as well. So they cook, for the kids.
You live with both?
Yes.
Oh, that's another challenge.
So I get Cuban food and Turkish food.
Amazing.
Yes, so I get a good mix of it. Sometimes I cook pasta. That would be the only thing that I cook. Just for fun. No, my kids love my pasta. They love my pasta. But the Cuban food, I leave that to my father and my mother.
I was just going to ask you if there's a Cuban dish that you know how to make.
No, yes, I know how to make everything, of course. I just don't have the time to make it.
Well, you make kitchens. You better start learning to cook.
Well, I learned how to make pasta from the event that we did together.
Yes.
And since then, I do the pastas in the house. Nobody's allowed to make
From
pasta in my
scratch?
house from scratch. I bought the machine, okay? Because when I learn something, I really like to do it good. So I bought the machine, I made the pasta now from scratch, and my kids love it. And then I buy the things gluten-free, a little bit, more healthy for the kids. So I don't let anybody in the house make the pasta but
That's
me.
great. I have the machine as well, but I'm not doing it so
No, it was too chaotic that day.
Well, it's not my thing. It's not my thing. But my kids learned how to make the pasta. That was a great experience that we did.
We're
that
gonna
time.
bring it back. We're gonna bring it back on the new showroom.
Great, excellent.
Yes.
So tell me about Milan. You were recently there with 8 designers in the same house.
It was fun. It was a very enriched experience, I would say. You get all sorts of millworkers and kitchens and closets and wallpaper suppliers and artists. Faucets, plumbing fixtures, lightings.
It was a kitchen or lighting design?
It was kitchen, but it was everything. They had everything there. It was not enough days for me to see.
I was going to say, did you walk it all?
No. I couldn't. I couldn't because I stopped in a few places and I spent some time in a few places that were more, concentrated, like related to my business. But I wanted to see everything and I couldn't. And I went there for a week and I didn't have the time. But
how many days at the show?
The show is 4 days.
That you were there.
4 days.
You went for 4 days.
Yes, we went for 4 days.
That's
last day.
That's a lot. You were able to cover a lot.
Yes. Not really.
You don't feel like it?
No, I just don't feel like I saw everything. Because there was rocks. I wanted to see everything. There was furniture, racks. There was so many things that I couldn't see, and I just passed by it fast. Took the picture. Okay, I'm gonna check it later. So I would take the picture of the barcodes of the company and say, okay, I will check it later.
Yeah,
but
we
then
never
later
have time.
never happened because I don't have time.
And I try to accumulate every brochure until I have to pack my bags again, and then I leave them all.
So I focus most to visiting, of course, kitchen closets and bath that they had there because that's what I do, and furniture, which was the new lines that I was going to bring. So I was focusing on those parts to see.
And then you had a lot of fun outside of the show.
Oh, yes, we did. Yeah,
yes.
We went to a very nice restaurant. It was a very nice group of designers and very talented designers, by the way. So I was very grateful having to go with them.
And the
to the
experience
event.
of sharing 2 bathrooms with 8 designers?
Well, that I will change. I told the group, if we do this again,
we go to the same hotel.
We go to the same hotel. And I'm okay with us, we going together to the restaurant, but we're just going to have our own rooms next time. No, but it was okay. It was okay.
Definitely an experience. You traveled together as well?
We
from
traveled.
Miami.
A few of us traveled together. A few of them, they met us after.
That's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Were you
5
able
of us
to
travel in the same plane.
Did you go to any factory to visit?
Well, I had one of the days I focused only on my factories. So I didn't go to the factory because most of the factories, Italian factories, they are not in Milan. They are outskirts of Italy, either Abruzzo, Pescara, like down to the south or to the southeast of Italy. So for you to get there, you have to be like 2-3 hours in train. So I didn't get to go to see the factories, but I have been many times in the factories.
So you focus on meetings and...
I focus on meetings,
You were a little bit of procuring all the things for the new showroom.
I brought a wallpaper covering solutions from Italy, from that Milano show. They are beautiful. If you want to see them, you can pass by the showroom. They are not available yet online because we are working on the e-commerce infrastructure right now.
So what is going to be available in the e-commerce?
E-commerce is going to be available wallpaper that you can order right through our website. If you need samples, you will have to request them and I'll send it. I'll ship them to you. And lighting and furniture.
Great. And when
Some
is
of
it that
the furniture.
we're going to be able to visit the new
showroom? So the new showroom is scheduled to be finished by the end of December. But then January will be most for the finished touches, the decor, and planning the grand event. February
We're going to have a party?
We're going to have a big party.
Great. We'll be there.
So more detail is gonna come about that.
So tell me a little bit more about that human side of Maydet. Any hobbies, anything that you like to do on your spare time, which is very scarce?
Well, my day before or my day after? You see, because my day before was different. My day before I had hobbies. I used to paint.
You used to paint?
I used to paint. That was my hobby. And I used to run marathons.
Me too.
I used to love running.
Me
So
too.
I would wake up and do trail running around the university, then Rutgers in New Jersey. So those were my two hobbies. And of course, after business is my hobby.
No hobbies anymore. Only the exercise.
I still have the hobbies. I just don't practice them, you see? I still like to run and I still like to paint. I just don't practice them anymore because I don't have the time. Now, my daughter paints, so I teach her a couple of, techniques, and she loves painting with me, but I don't have the time. You need a lot of
What is the
focus
technique that you
and
like?
concentration. I used to paint with acrylics.
Acrylics.
Yeah.
And you like colorful pieces?
Very colorful.
Abstract or...
Yes. Both. I used to do a lot of silhouettes, humans, bodies, and then abstracts. Yeah,
So of
landscaping.
course you have an artistic side.
Yes.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
only business and art.
Yeah.
That's a great combination.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back to your projects because I want everybody to be able to identify everything they can do by working with you. I know you have several types of projects in different styles. So if there's anything that you're working on that's very fun right now that you think that it's the Miami style, you can describe that to me.
I have a few projects with Alessandra Sagues in Design Studio. She's very versatile on her design style as well. She brings very fun projects, modern, sleek, light, very neutral.
I would say very neutral.
Very
Yeah,
neutral.
that's...
But we have a very fun project now that is in Sunny Isle. And that's very unique because it's from a very unique couple as well. And they have different cultures, Latin culture and Asian culture. So Alessandra knew how to put together their two requirements that were very difficult to match.
Is this where the aquarium is?
Yes,
Yes,
this is where
I
the
saw
aquarium
a
is. You
little bit.
saw? It's a very beautiful project we are doing with Alessandra. So it's going to be sent to production this month.
And the millwork includes aquariums? Or that
No,
part you
that
don't touch?
part
You don't
I
touch.
don't. Yes, correct.
And where are
Not yet. I don't do. I
another
don't do aquarium
another one
yet
in your list
in my list
for your
no,
team.
No.
Yeah.
No, we tried now to stay within the furniture and millwork realm.
Okay.
But
So what are the colors to be used there? It's paneling all around the house.
it's
She likes
paneling.
to do a lot of
yes,
millwork. She
correct.
likes to do.
In both of her projects, she has a lot of wall paneling and wood textures. So she likes to play around with the colors and the texture, which is fun. But we are also doing high gloss
High
gloss.
In what color?
and neutral. It's kind of like a beigey, taupey, very
Oh,
clear.
that's nice.
Yeah, it's very beautiful color.
And what is the color of the hardware in that one?
Gold.
I'm
bright
picturing
gold.
Alessandra.
Very bright gold. But again, these are some challenges. Sometimes you design for your client, not for yourself.
Exactly.
And sometimes it's very difficult because you have, as a designer, you have your own taste, your own, style. But some of
But
your
I
clients
think it's
will
really easy just
Correct.
to leave our skin and
Yeah.
become interpreters of their vision. Yeah, I
Correct.
think that's what
Yeah.
this
Sometimes
profession
you
is
have
about.
to, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And is there anyone who inspired you into this world or has inspired you during your times with the industry?
When I was building my house and I was still managing the construction company, which I also built my house with our construction company, I had the pleasure to meet Maydet Aksoy. She was the
I know
designer
her.
for my house.
She's amazing. She has a
Yes.
store now with
Yes,
multiple solutions.
Correct. And I was very involved in the whole design of my house, of course, and she really inspired me. Her designs are beautiful. She's very professional. I I told her only once what I wanted, and she kind of like read my mind. I mean, I'm also very, simple, but
Maydet.
Maydet.
She likes to use red in her compositions,
yes,
right?
she's very versatile. In my house, I wanted greens, and I told her, I am from the Caribbean, I'm from Cuba, so I want greens and plants everywhere. She's like, how am I going to? I want greens and plants everywhere, Maydet. Everything else, you can do whatever you want in the house. So at first, she did like a Japanese garden. But then we said, okay, maybe with the sun of Miami, it's not going to last that long. So she ended up putting bamboos in one side of my house. And then we brought vertical gardens inside of my house, like 2 walls with vertical gardens. And that really, because I like living things, I like my
inside
space
and outside to
to come together.
And who was the architect of your house?
His name is Gabriel Lopez. He has an architecture studio in Coral Gables. His work is beautiful.
So that was your team.
That was my team.
Who did the kitchen at the time?
Me.
You?
Me.
You hadn't opened your showroom yet.
I hadn't, but I already had the business, but I hadn't opened. I didn't have a showroom back then. And then when I finished the construction of my house, that's when I decided to open the showroom. The whole millwork of my house I did with our business.
And what colors did you use in your kitchen?
It's white. Yes.
It's a white kitchen.
I think it's time to change it now. At that time. But I think that was one of the things that Maydet almost killed me, because when I hired her services, the kitchen was already done. The kitchen was already done. Some of the pieces were already done. We designed it and we built them. And then she was like, no.
I wish I had come earlier.
I wish I had come earlier.
Well, I take this opportunity to invite Maydet Granda to the podcast, because I would love to talk to her.
Yeah.
She's great.
She's very inspirational.
Yes,
also
and there's a lot of achievements that she's done.
Yeah.
I think she focuses a little bit on the Key Biscayne.
She has projects. She had a lot of
everywhere.
projects in Pinecrest, and of course, her studio is in Key Biscayne, and her new showroom as well is in Key Biscayne. But she's a very beautiful person overall. So I would think you would be
met her
pleased
once,
to meet her.
But I've never touched base again. So we'll take this as an opportunity to invite Maydet as well. So she was a designer who influenced you in your life.
I was so involved in the design operations of my house that's when I was like, I love this, and I was looking for a way to give away the construction part that we had, because that was not my cup of tea. And then I decided that I was going to do millwork.
And is this your cup of tea?
This is my cup of tea, yes.
Great. And I know this question, it's going to take you a lot of places, but it's not easy. There are things that are happening still when you're doing millwork design, sizes that don't come the right way, and you have to adjust. So how is a bad day during installation? Describe that so we can relate.
Well, this business, it comes with a lot of challenges. And unless you are prepared to handle the pressure, you cannot have it. Because there some days
they're amazing,
and some days will destroy you. I will say the key for this is not react to the moment. Just take a step back, let it go, think it through, go to sleep. Next day, with the cool head,
that's a great
you can
advice.
make a decision.
Because some of us just stay at the job site looking at the problem, and no ideas come when you are looking at the problem. When you are out of the problem, then you start creating solutions in your mind.
Yes, and it also depends. You need to take each situation and you need to analyze each situation differently. Some situations will require a very fast solution, that you have to do it now or something worse will happen after. So when that happens, you need to put back or weigh down all of your emotions and make a very strategic decision depending on the parties involved. Some other situations give you a little bit of a wiggle time to think it through and then to make the best decision. But it's definitely difficult. I mean, you will fail a lot, You will make a lot of bad decisions for sure, but you just have to pray that the good decisions that you make overtop the bad ones.
And how many things have happened for you to have this wisdom that you're talking?
Many bad things.
Yes,
This
because
is not something that you acquire like this. You cried a lot in the beginning. you
Yeah,
wake up some
I remember
days.
waiting for slabs for a kid to complete a kitchen, and having the client said that I'm moving tomorrow and my slabs are not ready, and me crying there, sitting in the kitchen, just waiting. There's nothing that you can do.
And when that happens, I will say that what have worked for me and for my team, and my team used to also get very frustrated, very emotional, and it's very difficult because you do get attached to a lot of your clients. You don't want to disappoint your clients. Your clients have these expectations. You don't want to give back. Nobody likes bad news. But this is the heart of this is the industry. This is what it is. You just have to make sure that you don't overpromise. I would say always be honest with the client.
Great tips by Maydet today.
Thank you. I don't overpromise anything. I give lead times. I say if I know it's going to be late, I told my client from the beginning, it might be late. I just want to let you know that we might be 1 or 2 weeks off of our lead time. Please let me know anything that you might need in between. We are very personalized in our projects. And we are in constant communication with our clients. So most of our clients are willing to wait because they know we come from the communication. Because they come from heart. Okay. And there is some factors that you cannot control, like cargo time.
Yeah.
During COVID and even after COVID, the container used to drink cafecito in Spain there for a couple of weeks, and then they were just not moving. And then,
or there were not even
enough containers.
Yes.
So a lead time of 4 months moved to 6 and sometimes even 7 months, and there was nothing I could do. And some of the good clients would say, I understand Maydet, because a lot of clients are business owners themselves. They have business overseas, so they understand the situation. Now, the clients that don't understand and they give you a hard time, then you have to really put a lot more effort for communication, to be on top of them.
Yeah, to try to illustrate what's happening in the world that is affecting our logistics.
Mm-hmm. So it's definitely challenging, and each client will come with its expectations.
Who is the coach in your team?
Coach?
The one that tells everybody, it's going to be fine, don't worry, tell the client.
Oh, that would be me. Sometimes my team is like, how are you so positive? If I wake up in the wrong side of the bed, the business is not going to move.
Yeah.
So
it's a decision more than an attitude. It's a decision. You prefer to be positive and to motivate your team.
Yeah. But even though when you wake up feeling, because you do, when you work all day and then you have children, you have so many, you drain. Sometimes I wake up, I don't want to go, but I go. I just do it anyways. So it's just a matter of, I would say, commitment. Most of the times that I have done it without even knowing how to do them. I just do them. And I'll just learn on the way.
Yes, and you're not afraid of anything.
I just do them, and I love it.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Any lessons learned on your way, on your path, on your career?
Lessons learned.
More than what you've already shared.
Learn your numbers. If you owned a design firm, an architecture firm, you need to be very, very good at finances, budgeting. That would be the number one. A lot of us, a lot of designers,
the creative
side, you don't know. You wouldn't know. But then it's very hard to grow a business if you don't know the finance part of it, or if you don't have somebody helping you with the finance and the part of your business. So I would say that number one, get very good at it. Get some master classes or some sort of courses to help you with business finance, tax codes. I would say that's number one. It's going to save you a lot of money. Thank you. And another part is emotional intelligence. You need to be able to control your emotions when you own a business.
As women, that's hard.
It's hard because we are already emotional wrecks, right?
Yes.
For anything. But this is something that you work through it with the years. This is not something you wake up, oh, today, even whatever happens, I'm not going to show emotion. No, you still have them. It's just you have to make a decision. It's like how you react to it. Because when you have a team, when you have different other leaders in your company looking up to you, because this is what you should strive. You have to have leaders in your company to help you build your business. You cannot
do it all.
You cannot not only do it all, you cannot just melt out of every challenging situation, because then your team will lose the trust that they have on you.
And who would be, without your team knowing, who is your emotional support person? Who do you go to when you have these challenges? Because I have
he will kill me, because most of these skills that I have developed through the year has been because of him.
Your husband?
No, my accountant.
Well, you can share that information with us.
Yes.
We all can all can talk to your accountant.
Yeah, my finance manager, he's like my mentor. And from the beginning, when I used to react to the emotions, you know him.
Yes.
Mr. Cloud.
Oh, it's Cloud. Yeah, he looks so wise and calm
he's
all the
time. He's a very
time.
wise person. And every time a challenge happened, and he would see my face because I'm very transparent, and you could see all of my emotions in my expressions, he would, even before I would speak, he was like, relax. Once you are relaxed, take a walk, drink a coffee, think it through.
Then
great. We can talk about it.
That's great. Yeah, he has that calm vibe on his own. Yeah.
I mean, you need somebody like that in your life, and you need to have very good people around you. Definitely when you have a business or when you have your design firm, because design, we don't do interior design ourselves, but it's very time consuming. It takes you everywhere. You need to deal with a lot of vendors, deal with a lot of people at the same time, plus problems with the clients. So you need to have the people around you that will supplement that energy that was drained and put energy back to you. You cannot do it all.
I know. It's amazing. Somebody was saying that for a kitchen to happen, there's probably more than 60 people behind the scenes.
Correct.
Yes, so we have to deal with orchestrate a lot of work. And we gotta have the capacity. That's why I always ask, what do you do for mental health? And you do your 5 a.m. routine.
Yes.
Which is?
I go to the gym. And sometimes I run because I love running. And sometimes I do some CrossFit or some sort of workouts.
Yeah, and we need to keep playing paddle together.
Yes.
So to finalize our podcast, I want to ask you, how do you see women in design? What is your perspective on the role of women in interior design industry today? You deal with a lot of clients that are interior designers, so because right now you see a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, so there's probably a perspective from your side.
When interior designers, they have a smooth workflow, our life is easier for the mill workers, right? So that's why I wanted the CASSA to also build the CASSA for designers to help them through the process, because I realize a lot of designers, either they don't have the full support of a team, or they don't have their own office yet.
Definitely.
And it's very challenging for them to oversee a full home or a bigger project. And then as the mill workers, then we need to support most of that. So I wanted to create in the CASSA a space for designers to come and feel that they are supported. It's like the CASSA is part of your team. So I wanted them to provide that, because I don't know if other places provide in a space like
Which
this.
shop drawings do you do?
We do all shop drawings, renderings, electric plans, plumbing plans, production plans, everything that we do.
So before we leave, if you want to explain that process, what would a designer get? How would you get all of that back end for us, which is a support system, really?
So usually drafting and rendering services are expensive all around the world. A lot of designers, they don't have that support. We have a very big team of interior architects that do beautiful high-end renders in 3ds Max. So I always offer the designers, if you have a big project that you are not able to do all the drafts and the renders, and you would like to use
even if you're able, that takes us
correct
something out of the scope.
Of course. And even if you are not using us for millwork, we can offer you just to support you with the drafting and with the renders, because that's something that we do already. So I don't want them to feel that they are attached to us just because we did the renders and the drafting, because that would be a separate service.
But there has to be a contract before we start working on renderings
of
with
course.
you. Then
Correct.
So
and the fee would depend on the square footage or the size of the scope of the project, of course.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Well, thank you so much, Maydet, for
You're
coming.
welcome.
And we are going to be checking on the dates of the next events that you are, the opening, the official opening, the party, and everything that's going to happen in the CASSA, which we already want to see, the inspiration space and everything you shared with us today. And hopefully we have you back here sometime to discuss more about the new lines. The new lines. And thank you again for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Bye.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Creative Talks podcast. Your 5-star reviews really help us continue what we do. Please rate your listening experience, and let's keep building this beautiful community together. For exclusive access to more design content, visit thearchitecturalauthority.com or download our app from the App Store or Google Play. Until next time, take care and keep creating.